We now go into Game 1 of the StarCraft World Championship Series Global Finals. Introducing our first player in the bottom left, in the blue. Make some noise for Stats! And his opponent in the upper right, the non-Korean coat, he is Serral!
Such an epic moment. I don't know if I was ready for this, Tasteless, but now that it's here, I cannot wait to see how it goes down. We are starting off on blue shift, and already we've had a little bit of player interaction with Stats forcing that natural expansion to go towards the third base.
That's right, with that probe coming out there, he's able to block that hatchery. That forces Serral to set his hatchery up somewhere else. This gives Protoss a little bit of control early on in the game. It's certainly not something Serral is going to have a trouble with.
No, it's something that he does run into. Protosses love to do this, but he's got to be careful as well. This can set up little areas where Stats can show some extra aggression. If your creep spread is a little bit slower, maybe his initial adepts can do some damage, maybe can pick off some drones. And at this level, any damage you do early on really can snowball.
So let's keep in mind, there's a reason why we don't let these players play one game to decide who's the best. It's a best of 7 because there are so many different strategies in StarCraft. There are so many different ways to play the game. You have to be prepared on every single map in every single situation. And of course, in a series like this, you can farm data from your opponent. You see how they play in Game 1 and Game 2. Maybe you use something new there and incorporate that to try to counter them. So there's going to be a lot of planning here, a lot of mind games throughout this series.
Mind games, you say, Tasteless. Well, already Stats has a proxy pylon. It looks like probably a Stargate going to be going down here, and this is not very common from Stats. He likes to be the defender. He likes to absorb your attacks, but Serral is too good to just play textbook against, and he is going for some early aggression.
Yeah, Stats is known for being an incredibly conservative player. He actually wants the game to go pretty long. If he can get all the tech he needs, he usually has an answer for everything and anything, but Stats opening up with a little bit of aggression here. Having that Stargate over there allows Oracles, for instance, to get inside the main base and kill workers a little bit more quickly.
And look at this, he's already bullying back some scouting lings out on the map. Really nicely done by Stats. He's trying to just keep Serral busy, pick off anything he can, because if that Oracle gets into the main base undefended, it can do massive damage.
We see that that Adept is going to be coming up here right now. Now the Queen here is to try to deflect. It acts as a deterrent to keep the Adepts from getting too far forward, but Stats will go ahead and try to shade in here. Now, especially at this level, even if you can get a few drone kills, it can add up to a lot.
Oh my gosh, Serral got a Zergling into Stats' base. He's scouting around but doesn't see anything. This should tell him that there's something out on the map. Is he going to be able to defend it in time, though?
These Lings are going to come up here now. The Adepts have shaded away, and here comes that Oracle. Now, this is really what we want to watch for. How many kills can this Oracle get?
Yeah, it is very important right now. This is where the big damage can be done. Instantly pulls his drone. Serral trying to evacuate this area, losing just one drone so far. A second one, a third one goes down, and Stats continues his harassment.
Okay, this is an incredible amount of damage. It looks like he will actually get 6 before the Oracle has to run away, and it will not be killed off. Meanwhile, a counterattack down here by Serral trying to break through. In fact, it's not properly walled up. The Lings do slip through.
Yeah, he does have a little bit of a flank. Looks like he might pick that off, and in fact, he does. Surrounds that Adept once again. Stats trying to get a full wall. He does, but there are 4 Lings in his base.
The probes have been pulled. They're going to have to be used to try to take out these Zerglings as this wall-in is going to continue to be set up. There are more Lings on the way, however, and Stats is scrambling to try to get some proper defense.
Oh my gosh, that pylon might go down with more Speedlings coming down. Serral putting on a huge amount of pressure, and here he goes.
He's breached the main base. He's going to be going in here for some probe kills. He needs to try to balance out the damage that Stats has already done to him.
Oh, it looks like these Oracles might have gotten recalled to deal with these Zerglings. He's going to chase them around. Great micro by Serral, trying to use up as much of the Oracle energy as possible.
The Lings now hitting the pylon. The wall will be breached once again. Another pylon goes down to try to sandbag the attack. The Oracle, meanwhile, is going to clean up the rest of the Zerglings inside of the main.
Wow, Serral has really made something happen here after taking that devastating attack from the Oracle, keeping them busy right now, scouting out everything Stats is doing, breaking his wall multiple times. Some beautiful play from our Finnish Zerg.
And from here on out, these Lings are going to be used more to try to spot and see what else is being built here in the main. There's not going to be too much more damage here. Behind this, though, Stats is getting 3 more gateways. He's getting a Templar Archives, and he's upgrading Zealot legs. We have a Warp Prism coming out here as well. He can use that to start to try to harass the Zerg and control him a little bit.
Yeah, this is a very common play, but he's adding some more gateways as well. It will be some Archon drop aggression along with some charged Zealots. If Serral does not defend against this perfectly, it could really set him behind.
Now these 2 Oracles are going to come in here, try to get a few more kills. You can one-shot drones with 2 Oracles, although it looks like the targeting was a little bit off sync there for Stats. And so he doesn't get the same drone kills he was probably hoping to get. But this attack coming here from Stats, this is going to be really powerful. He's going to morph Archons over here, and these are great with a Warp Prism because an Archon is almost entirely shields. Shields, of course, regenerate. So the fact that he can come in here, try to do damage, the moment the Archon gets weak, he picks it back up, backs off. Usually the Protoss trades very effectively, but we already see Serral spotting this with his Lings, so he's going to get ready and brace for impact.
That's right. He sees that an Archon drop is coming, but does he know about the charged Zealots that could be warped in? We're going to see in a moment here. Stats already starting this harassment, picking off a creep tumor, moving forward, but that's enough roaches that I don't think Serral's too afraid right now.
Okay, the Warp Prism's going to be coming up. Being escorted by this small air army is going to be key. We don't have the Zealots coming in here as an attack just yet. Now the Warp-In is going to come, which means that Stats is committed to this area.
Don't forget, there's 2 Oracles in here as well, turning on their beams, going forward. The Phoenix gets a lift as well. A charge in by these Zealots, but it looks like Serral is going to hold tight.
Serral holds this so easily. That did absolutely nothing but bruise a few of the roaches, and he's going to have to retreat. Now look at the supplies here. It's about 120, 270. I have to imagine that Serral is itching to counterattack across the map and try to deny that third base. In fact, can we get a shot of the third base really quickly here? Okay, it has been spotted. There is a Ling hitting it, but this harass is going to continue.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful. If he loses that Warp Prism, he is going to be just about dead. But look at this. I am loving what we're seeing from Serral. He's adding that Infestation Pit, and that is going to allow him to get into Swarm Host play against the Stats that he knows has to be going for Immortals.
So a small number of roaches come down here. He wants to see if there's anything stray that he can try to pick off. Of course, the Immortal immediately counters the Roach, and he's got to be careful because with these sentries here, if the right force fields get up, he's going to get cornered and basically wiped out. So an immediate turnaround here from Serral. He goes in here and takes out actually all 3 of those sentries. Beautiful play.
Yeah, you know, those Roaches were going to die anyways because of the force fields, like you said. So to turn them around and still gain that value to knock out those high gas costing units was a good, solid move from Serral.
Okay, we have 5 Swarm Hosts close to coming out here. Again, I don't know if Stats is going to be totally prepared for this. This is not what a normal ZVP looks like. And some of this may be because these players have to play a series of games, so you definitely want to mix up your strategies so you can be unpredictable.
Yeah, you know, the Swarm Hosts are deadly indeed, but Stats has a strong army already. If he can avoid fighting against those Locusts, if he can walk around the Swarm Hosts when they are not ready to shoot again, that's where Stats might be able to actually endanger Serral's lead.
Yeah, we see this with certain sets of units. Broodlords is another one where sometimes the best way to deal with them is to actually avoid them entirely and attack wherever they're not. But for right now, it seems like Stats is just staying back at home, which could put him in trouble depending on where these Locusts start to hit.
And we see it right there for a moment. His first-person view moving so quickly through here, rotating through everything, making sure his macro is on key. Just such a quick player and immediately reacting to this Roach attack.
Okay, so these Roaches are really more to keep the Protoss occupied. If he can get any kills here on these workers, that's ideal. But Serral knows this can't really do that much. However, keeping the Protoss pinned back at home is going to allow Serral to set up a pretty good position here on the mini-map. We see this happening right here, right now.
Oh, a very good move. Those Locusts are close. Stats is going to have a hard time against this. The Roaches coming in as well. Those are not the scary things, though. These Locusts diving in, attacking onto the Zealots and Immortals, but it looks like Stats will deal with this just fine.
Okay, some force fields do come down here. He needs to try to retreat until there's more Locusts ready to fire. Stats is in pursuit here, going to try to chase this down as much as he can.
Oh, he's chasing it right now. Some beautiful juggling with that Warp Prism, popping in and out these damaged units. But Serral, he's microing backwards. He's waiting for another charge on these Swarm Hosts. And when that's up, he is going to be ready to fight again.
It looks like these rocks are going to be torn down. Serral wants to have the right position set up. He wants to have proper circulation here on the map. Is Stats overextending? We already see that Serral is basically maxed out. And here's where Serral is eager to pounce. He's going to come forward. He takes out another sentry. And now he's going to try to get these Immortals here that are straying in the end.
Oh, some great micro there by Stats. He's juggling back the Immortals before they take any critical damage. But the Swarmos are coming up as well. He warps in some more Zealots. Oh, some nice files coming out right now from Serral. And look at those Locusts coming in to pin him.
The Locusts are moving in right now. Stats is going to back up, trying to get in between this Nexus, and as those come down, Storms blanket the area. All that Stats has right now is these Immortals and Archons.
Well, the Immortals certainly still powerful indeed, so Serral turns around and waits for these Swarm hosts to recharge, but he is going to lose some Queens on running away.
As you can see, Stats has managed to push this back just slightly. Now, what's most important for Stats is dragging this game out. Serral has a lot of leverage for the time being, but if Stats can hang on, if he can continue to tech up, he will certainly have a solution to what's been presented to him.
Yeah, you're very right about that. Stats is so good at getting into the late game, having the right compositions, hitting the right attacks, countering what the Zerg is doing. But Serral's mixing up once again, getting some Baneling speed to go with this. That's going to be really interesting when that finishes.
Okay, we see the Roaches once again pursuing. Remember, the Warp Prism can only pick up so much, and a beautiful surround. These Immortals are so precious right now for Stats. It's the only real answer he has for all of these Roaches.
Oh, and he loses a lot of them. The Archon falling there as well. Only a few left. Two more do pop out. Some high Templars coming down. He needs those Storms, and he does have them.
Okay, we see the Locust coming in here. He's actually managed to separate the army here from the second base as well. So much damage coming down. Stats trying his best to stay in control, but only 4 Immortals remain.
Oh my God, Stats juggling his heart out right now, warping in more units, flanking on these Ravagers. Did Serral commit too much here? Stats somehow keeping 4 Immortals alive.
I don't know how Stats is managing to last this long. We see the Nexus here in the upper left. There's nothing there to defend, and Stats is actually going to try to chase this.
Oh, I don't know if chasing this is the right plan, but every time they shoot those Locusts out, you have to be ready to do something against the Zerg player, because when they're back, you're in trouble.
We saw a Spire being made. He could absolutely suddenly erupt with a bunch of Mutalisks and completely blindside Stats. But in this game, he might not even need that. We see Stats just barely hanging on, trying to keep control of his side of the map.
Oh no, another set of Locusts dive in. A ton of damage done to Stats' army. It's almost gone right now. Serral pushing through, looking for a victory in game number 1.
You can see the attack continuing to come forward. He's banging at the gates of Stats' second base. There is so much over here. The core goes down.
Oh, he breaks through there, but really we need a lot more units from Stats if he is to hold on. Some great side storms going out, but GG! Serral takes game number 1.
It's happening.
Just fantastic play here out of Serral.
I can't believe this. So impressive.